Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers have practically built themselves.
Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to be looking at mooring keys. So in a lot of the pictures that you see of Battleship Row during World War II, during the attack on December 7th, 1941, you'll notice these white shapes, kind of squarish, but not really, but these white shapes near the one row of the battleships on Battleship Row. Well, these are the mooring keys. These are the place where they pull up, moor the ship. It gives them kind of a dock, more or less, a small dock for them to tie off to and bring and take on personnel and other goods and whatnot. So most of the guys who build models of Battleship Row, well, they tend to forget these sometimes. There are guys that do get them and put them on. But the one thing that I found through some research is that not all mooring keys are the same. So we're going to look into that a little bit today. We're going to look at how I scratch built the ones that I'm going to be using, and how I went ahead and resin cast them. So stick with Mad Dog Merv as we look at the mooring keys of Pearl Harbor.
So here we are again looking at the Battleship Row that I built 20 plus years ago in 1/425 scale. And one of the things you'll notice, just barely in the picture, is these white shapes that are by the inboard ships. And what those are, they are the mooring keys. Here's a great picture taken right after the attack, and you can see the mooring keys that the ships are moored to. You've got the California at the upper left-hand corner, and the place where the Nevada would be at the right bottom. Here is a look at today how the mooring keys look where the USS Arizona was. And you'll notice they've got some foliage in them. So great, though, that they've been preserved in place there. Not all of them have, but most of them have. So here's a picture of the USS California, not California, sorry, the Maryland. And you can see F5 on the left-hand bottom. And you'll notice these pilings around them. Now, in this picture, I got on Google Earth to check out the shapes and the size of the different mooring keys. And I get up to where California was, F3. Yes, they're still there, but they're in a different shape than the standard mooring keys that the Arizona, Maryland had, and Tennessee had. So I thought, well, this is interesting. Here is some blueprints that I found online for the original mooring keys. Now again, these are not the ones for the California or the Nevada. And one thing I did discover is that they are not necessarily hollow, but kind of hollow inside. They filled them with dirt. Of course, you'd get weeds and different things. I didn't find this picture until after I had actually built my key, but here are the bumpers that go on the outside of the mooring key. So let's go back to this picture. And you'll see circled in green the California with its keys, and then in red is circled the ones for the Nevada, and they are the same shape as each other, and they're a slightly different shape than the other ones. Here's the model I did of the Nevada several years ago, and I had made the keys for this particular model. Again, the correct shape, so that's how I knew how to do those. You'll see here, circled in red in this picture, the pilings that are in front of, or the bumpers as I call them, but the pilings that are in front of the mooring keys. So now, armed with this information, I'm going to attempt to scratch build some for the California in 1/350th scale. Now, Model Monkey makes a really nice 3D printed one, and you can see it here on the left, for the Arizona, for the Tennessee, for the Maryland. Highly recommend these. They come 2 to a pack and they're great. The little one behind there is the correct one for the Nevada and for the California. However, they are in 1/700 scale by Loose Cannon, which is now out of production. So I'm going to use evergreen sheet and strip styrene. I can't even tell you the thickness of it, probably an 0.20. I don't want it too flimsy. And I went ahead and traced the shape on a piece of paper that I wanted after doing dimensions and all that kind of fun stuff. And went ahead, cut it out. You can see the shape there. And glued these sides on. And the sides are just some strip styrene that I used that happened to be what I felt was the appropriate height. So now, because I am going to make the top simulated like dirt, I'm going to lower the top of it here. And you can see, glued it in place with some of my sprue goo and given it a little bit of space there so I can put some filler in. And going to start doing some puttying here and some sanding, trying to get this thing the correct shape and somewhere where I'm happy with it. And you can see here a lot more puttying that I needed to do because I didn't have everything. I'm not the greatest scratch builder in the world, let's just face that. Here's the bottom, and you can see all of the putty that I've got on the side. So what I've done here is, after the puttying and sanding, I went ahead and put some stairs on the back, some concrete stairs on the back, like the 700 scale keys had. So I don't know if it's correct or not. I don't have a great picture of the set for the Nevada and the California. I do know that the ones for the Arizona and that other shape just has a hand ladder on the back. But anyway, I opted to go ahead and put these concrete stairs on, and I just made them out of styrene. You can see how I filled in using some white glue, some paint, and some baking soda to try and simulate a little bit of texture for the ground. Yeah, it didn't quite dry as even as I wanted it to. So I had to put on another coat. But anyway, I think at this point, it's ready to cast. Put it in my little mold box, tried out my new RTV, which we'll talk about some other time. And 4 hours later, I popped it out and it was ready to go. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start scratch building the bumpers and the pilings. So I'm going to take the Model Monkey shape, and you can see where I've started doing the bumpers. You can see I've done the pilings, couple of hundred, all the same length poles. And then I'm going to put some planks over certain areas to kind of simulate a place for you to walk. And you can see here, very similar to what is on the 700 scale one. Aha! Okay, so here is, I've taken the Model Monkey, gone ahead and painted it with some Mr. Primer Surfacer, and you can see I've gone ahead and cast my bumpers and pilings, poured the resin, and you can see how that turned out, not too bad. So cleaned it up a little bit, mated it up to the one that I scratch built, and went ahead and primed it with some Mr. Surfacer 1000 and or Primer Surfacer 1000, and you can see here's how it looks.
Okay, let's take a look at how it turned out here. Now, I do have lettering on order. That's block lettering. Should be better than this hand painted, but this is, at least you get the idea. It's the best I could do with my limited ability of hand painting. So, I tried to paint the boards in kind of a wood color. These would be ones that they'd use to walk on once you got off the gangplank or boat, whatever. I might go over the bumpers the metal, the inner metal bumpers with a light rust at some point. I haven't made a decision on that yet. The dark brown for the wooden pilings, I'm gonna leave that. They obviously weren't black, but they were very, very dark because they had water splash on them. They were soaked. So we're going to leave it at that point. I may put a gloss coat on them. I haven't quite decided. To me, they're not exactly where I want them, but we'll work on it a little bit more at some point in time. You can see the little cleats. Zoom in here. The little cleats that I scratch built, along with the dog hair. But the inside there with the dirt and the weeds, and come around here, take a look. Hey, it didn't turn out too bad. I still have to finish my other one, but yeah, not too bad. One thing I did want to show you folks, and it's really hard to read, but right here, I got some lettering in 3/50th scale, ordered some lettering, and did the name California. Now, quite often when you had the ship camouflaged, that was painted over as well. I chose to go ahead and make it look like it had been painted black over the dark gray, because I had to do something. I don't really have anything raised because they were actually raised letters, but there you go. That's how that turned out. So now this is the one from Model Monkey, and it's great. It really is. Nice flat top. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. But for accuracy purposes, I wanted to do it as they actually were, which was filled with dirt or something that simulated that. So, hopefully that looks okay. And then the bumper that I made, and resin cast. This is what it looks like. But yeah, this is the difference in shapes. This would be correct for the Arizona, for the Tennessee, for the Maryland, and this one is correct for the California and the Nevada. So there you go.